Hey everyone, this is May and I hope you're all doing well. Over the past few months, I've been so excited to share with you this tool. So the story is that I have been working on many scattering scenarios inside of Houdini, and the whole thing here is just about making the whole process as easy as possible. Like the faster you get to solve your technical issues fast, the faster you grow as an artist and the wider your vision can get and expand to just stay focused on the creative part of the process instead of just being distracted here and there trying to find a lot of easy solutions and an all-in-one tool to make your scattering process easy. And yeah, it's about scattering this time because as an environment artist, like scattering is the hero thing when it comes to set dressing or laying out stuff and things like that. So during creating my greener project, I created a custom HDA tool inside of Houdini just to make things easier for me and to customize it the way I think and the way a lot of us may think to scatter things. So I thought of releasing this tool and sharing it with you just to make your life easier and it helped me a lot during my past projects, and yeah, I kept testing a lot of things using it, and it really gave me a lot of nice results. I mean, like scattering based on masks or custom density attributes that you create, or even painting specific areas to be scattered on, or using a geomask or whatever. Like, yeah, I try to cover most of the scenarios that we use in scattering all in one in this tool, which is called Mai Easy Tool, and Mai is my name. It's not called Mai. Yeah, it could work as My Easy Tool as well. I mean, it serves the meaning already. It's My Easy Tool at the same time. So yeah, let's get started. I hope you enjoy and like it. So let's say you have this grid inside of the stage context, and one thing I'd like to clarify at first, which is the tool was designed to work in the stage context. However, it still can read any surface you grab from the SOP or the object level, or even any prototype you would like to use that is living in the object level or in SOP context instead of stage. But the tool itself meant to be used in the Solaris context and to scatter based on the Solaris USD workflow. So let's say I have this grid created here in the stage, and I just want to scatter anything, like just anything, literally. All I need to do is just to have this instancer, and let's say you got this prototypes here. I mean, just a low res, or this is not a low res, it's just a proxy preview. Let's get to render. Yeah, I just have this little Megascan assets composition here. Yeah, whatever. Even if you have like any reference node or any like a sublayer or anything from the asset gallery, yeah, whatever. Literally, like it can understand anything that you plug in here as a prototype. So far, it does nothing because there is nothing happening yet. So if I just get in here inside of the instancer and I just grab my EasyScatter tool here, it simply, yeah, starts to work. So all I have to do here is just define the surface scatter I need to scatter things on. And let's say you want to scatter things on this grid, right? Yeah, it's already working. You can see that, yeah, but let me take you through the process first. You need to make sure of assigning the correct scattering surface that you need to scatter on, or you have another option. Let's say that you have to do your scatter in anything that is living on SOP. So in case you need to scatter anything on a object that is living here, let's say, I mean, for example, we have here in the object level in SOP, we have this height field. Yeah, you still can do that. Like, you can still scatter on top of it or on top of any geometry that is living in the stage context here. So I will show you both cases. So let's start with the first scenario that we choose our geometry here from the lock context. So yeah, I just assigned the grid here, which I want to use as a surface scatter for me. And now I need to just decide like the distribution that I would like to see. So we have most of the scenarios you would need, like maybe you just want to scatter it like ordinary way, just by default, like this. Yeah, let me reduce the count to make our life easier. just for recording this. Yeah. So maybe I need it to be scattered on based on the slope of the surface. Like if I say I need it on slope, it will start to distribute everything based on the slope areas. Yeah, just like that. Like let's say you want to scatter some rocks or some debris or any kind of thing you would like to do. Like yeah, it just reads the slope area and yeah, just connect to and just yeah, it understands what you want to do here. Let's turn on the render. Yeah, just as simple as that. This is one scenario you can do. And imagine if you have many, like, yeah, for sure, just a rule number one when it comes to scattering, whether it's in Houdini or anything else. I mean, it's a concept that I keep learning as long as I go as an artist, and I also keep teaching to my students that scattering system is not meant to work for all parts. Like you have to split your system here and there. Like for example, it's not about making a whole scattering variation and distributions just by one node, you know. Yeah, I mean, if this is the case, yeah, it's so be it, you know what I mean? But this is not meant to be like that. Like your process got to be much more flexible. You don't have to get everything you want only by one scattering system. Like you keep adding on this, you keep instancing more, and you keep. Also, you can just duplicate this and merge it with another EasyScatter node here and just create another distribution process in the same instancer node. So yeah, everything can be like, you know, endless probabilities using this one single node if you ever want to duplicate it and get to do more variation and add to the process. So yeah, if I say, you know, I need it off slope, this way it starts to like avoid any slope in the whole area and yeah, start to just distribute the whole thing on the lower level area that just off the slope literally. We can also like, yeah, for sure you can still manipulate all the whole density thing. Yeah, you can just manipulate also for the normal alignment like that. Like let's say our normal direction is yeah, you know what I mean, or even Z, and yeah, doesn't do a lot. Yeah, like you can still define your normal direction the way you need. Here's the partition where you can control your probabilities. Like let's say you need to see the second index or the second prototype in the whole. Oh yeah, by the way, I remember that the layout node already has 4 prototypes as shown here, which gets us more variety options. If I do this, just increased the number of the index here, yeah, maybe another. It's just for the purpose of demonstrations, that's all. That's why I didn't care much about picking the assets. I just want something for demonstration. So yeah, let's say we're good with that. Yeah, we just need to maybe scale this up a little bit, yeah, just to see what's going on. Yeah, you can have all the scale attributes controllable here. Global scale, minimum value, maximum value. Like let's say you need your maximum value to be something like 0.7, yeah, something like this. That would do. Yeah. We also have that translation, like if you ever wanted to have, for example, an offset in the y-axis here, we do something like that as a minimum value, or maybe something like that, just a little offset. Yeah, not much, but yeah, just a little offset going on here, for example. Yeah, another thing you can do, a lot of things can be done, to be honest, here. So this is one of the things, one of the scenarios here. We can also use custom mask. Like let's say you have a custom mask, like an image or any attribute that you added or created previously here. For example, like if you are creating a height field, you mostly have a lot of attributes and masks. Like if you create anything using any kind of masks or even a custom masks that you have created inside of the VOP attribute, yeah, you can still use that here. All you got to do is just to type the name of the mask. Like for example, here in this grid, yeah, here in this grid, let's say we have this attribute VOP created, like just for the purpose of demonstration. Like let's say you have this mask here as an example, you know, you just have this. And you just want to like use this to distribute, yeah? So let's say this mask is called a custom mask, and yeah, just use a custom mask. And we have to check this. Use a custom mask, and on the fly, it just does everything for you. As simple as that. With just a click of, yeah, just a single click, literally. Nothing crazy. I mean, the purpose of an HDA tool is to make your life easier, as yeah, this is how I picked the name, by the way, because the main target of this is just making everything as easier as possible and make you as an artist just focus on the creative aspects of your process and your projects. And for sure you still have to solve a lot of technical issues as you go, but our goal is always making the process just much easier. And yeah, for me as an artist, I just need to focus more on the creative aspects, so the faster you get to solve all these kind of things and just make it easier, the faster you grow as an artist and as a creative artist. And let's say, okay, I don't need to use a custom mask. Let's uncheck that. Let's see what else do we have. Maybe I need to paint on certain areas. Nothing is impossible here. You just need to check this paint area, and for sure we need to bring an attribute paint, right? And you still need to choose object that you want to paint on, right? So this is where we start to grab lop import, and you still have to grab the unpack USD to polygons, because you just grabbed a USD inside of a SUP node. You have to turn this into polygons. This is why we grab an unpack. We need to grab the grid, our primitive. Literally, this is the whole thing. You just need to start to paint and yeah, have a great time. Let's define the attribute name as a paint, for example, and yeah, just start to paint. Yeah, let's say we need something like this. I need my trees to be like scattered here. Yeah, I just around the mountainous area like this. And let's say we got a bridge like this and a little spot here. So let's say we just painted this. I just assigned the right name of the attribute, which is paint. And here we go. As easy as that. Nothing crazy. Yeah. So yeah, how easy is that, literally? This is the whole purpose of the tool, actually. This is another scenario, and for sure you can still update on it. Like you have another distribution. Like you want to erase this part, and yeah, just update it on the fly, literally on the fly, just instantly, shorter than you may take by the traditional methods or the original methods, let's say. Yeah, just to make this easier and giving you much more time and space to stay productive and do more with your art. Imagine having to, yeah, let's say, customize it as much as you need. I mean, do whatever you like. Let's say you want to blend it with the normal or the Y direction. You can see that the grass is starting to lean. Like, yeah. In this case, like, I would like to leave it unblended, because yeah, it just goes naturally with the flow of the directionality of the surface. And yeah, okay, the other case is like based on height. You can still use the height, and our terrain here is not so high, which yeah, here I do demonstrate here for you that the minimum value could be like go from -20 to 0 at most cases. So I think something like that, yeah, will start to show, maybe something like that. Yeah, here is the whole thing. Like now it works based on the height of the terrain. So maybe if I got like more density to show this more, a little bit better, something like this. Yeah, you get the idea. And imagine like if you have another scattering option on the second hand. Like, for example, if I do something like I grab another EasyScatter, and here, yeah, we start to notice things growing here and there. For example, I just want to scatter these little grasses on slope on top of. I come here and just on slope, we start to see things better. Yeah, you're noticing how these little grasses grow on top of this whole thing. And if I maybe come to maybe just a little bigger. Oh yeah, how cool is that? So yeah, I mean, like nothing. You can just imagine how far you can get with that. Another option, let's say you want to scatter based on something else, like based on noise, for example, just a random noise, just randomly like this. You can manipulate the noise value, like you can see the black and white are affecting that. So yeah, you have a lot to control here, or even a lot of options to maybe control the noise type, pearl noise, yeah, whatever. A lot of things can be done here. Yeah, a lot of a lot of options to distribute your and drive your scatters, increase the element size, so on and so forth. Cool. And getting to the fun part, another option, which is masking using a geomask. Like, let's say we do have an object here, a simple sphere like that, and that sphere, I just need to use it to control my mask, you know, just like the scope. If you're familiar with Clarice, I am sure you know what I'm talking about. So let's say we need to grab something like a scope, yeah? So I just do a loop import like that, connected here in the second input, and I just pick my sphere, and all I need to do is just to check, make a mask from geometry and uncheck the use noise. Then here we go. Now I have my scatter just driven by the, like, wherever it goes, we can see our scatters. Yeah. So maybe controlling the radius, or even I can invert this like this and control my scatters based on that negative space, which is useful at a lot of cases. So yeah, like let's say you have a building here instead of this sphere, and you just want to subtract any scatters inside of this. And for sure you still can manipulate distribution values from here. Like if I do invert it again, yeah, this will be, now I'm having a little bit of that, you know, offset going on. But if I just get it this to to maybe minus like this, yeah, you start to see that contrast being generated to control our scatters, like just within this area. I prefer to manipulate it using this ramp, increase the coverage a little bit. So if I think that I need to get this bigger, yeah, whatever, something like this. The radius is way too big. Yeah, most of the time I'd like to use this option just to, you know, just to invert the whole thing if needed. This is a common scenario and popular scenario in most of cases. So yeah, this way I just have this area being scoped or protected somehow. And if I get to activate this, yeah, I can still have something else going on. Like, for example, if I do use the same distribution method here, for example, just to have, you know what I mean? Like having the same distribution method, but inverted. Like, yeah, something like this. Like now you have only this area is just being saved to be your new scattering area in this second operator here. Maybe we need to have a little bit of fall off in this, for example, something like just a little bit, yeah, just to break that sharp edge circular shape here. Okay, so let's say we have an object level here. You have this height field created, and yeah, you just need to use it as your scattering surface. At this point, you just come here to stage. Instead of just selecting the lock path, yeah, you just check the use sub mesh. And in this case, you can just leave it. You don't have to erase this. And just pick your height field here, just like that. And now it reads based on your height field. And we do use a mask mask from Geo, and we need to adjust here. Yeah, let me unlink this one, get it here from the sub import as it reads from the from the height field living in sub. So here is the height field. All I need is just to check the sub object option here, and that's all. Like I'm not sure where is the sphere living now. Yeah, it's here. Okay, we can see the effect of the sphere, but it's not that obvious because the sphere is fairly small relatively to the height field piece here. And yeah, come back here and maybe invert, yeah, something like that. Everything's still working for the height field as well, or the primitive living in sub or object level. I also still can use, for example, like a custom attribute, but not a custom mask. You need to grab an attribute that has something to do with your height field. For example, I already have an attribute HF for height field, and I have to check use custom mask to work. Yeah, something like that. And now it's cooking. Here we go. For example, like this was a texture or a mask that was created previously in the object level while creating this very fast random height field. Maybe just increasing the scale as an easier, cheap method to just see what's going on instead of density, just to quickly demonstrate this without getting a lot of VRAM consumed. So yeah, here we go. Like I still can use a custom mask created in the object level. And by this I mean, like if I do have a look here. So for example, I do have this texture, and yeah, let's say just made this adjustment here, and yeah, I just need to get back to stage to see how this affecting our distribution now. Yeah, we can see that it's just affecting this instantly. So yeah, I think this is it, and you already see how this tool, what this tool can do for you. Maybe if I also here use on the another system, something like this, we can have a lot of fun creating a lot of nice scattering system here. And again, this tool is meant to work inside of Solaris, but still can read anything you grab from the sub. And you can still, by the way, use the, check this, you can still use the point count instead of the by density option here. For example, like if you say number of points, you can control this based on the number of points as well. Like total point here is, yeah, which is, you know what I mean? But usually I prefer density at most cases, especially in the organic natural distributions kind of things, just to preserve the natural and organic look of things. You can just grab anything, even if you just want to grab something from sub. Sub import. I do believe that we have a sphere living in there. Let's say we have this sphere and we need to scatter it from sub, you know, feed it here in the instancer, and yeah, that's it. You don't have to do much. Let me, for example, grab a reference, something like this. Let's say I do have this megascan reference here that I need to instance. Yeah, and just feed it here. Yep, and here we go. Wow, this is becoming a texture now. So this is the mossy in blanket asset here, just, yeah, very weird. It's looking like a texture now. And if I just do something like, yeah, so my whole point is just to clarify and show you how this works in multiple ways. I mean, because scattering inside of Houdini could be like customized in tons of various probabilities. So the main purpose here is to just make this as easy as possible and to be adaptable with any kind of workflow or way of thinking. Yeah, without having to write a lot of fixed codes or anything like that. You just have this EasyScatter, you just do everything here. Yeah, just define your surface scatter, just define how you want this to be distributed or painted or whatever. Yeah. And you have this global transform, and I have a lot on the way to develop and add on these things, like just based on my personal experience, because I'm not sitting there and just try to think how to develop this. Sure, I do, but I mean, it's not the main goal, but the main goal is just to go and work and explore a lot of scenarios, and my main inspiration to create this tool is my main experience as I go. So whatever scenario I face, I'm sure I'm going to add it here. because I love to customize things and make it easier for me. And sometimes I try a personal project and I imagine how easier this could be if I had that HDA, you know, with just a few button clicks. So yeah, I think this is it. I hope you enjoyed this and find this useful. Let me know if you got any questions or anything that I can help with. And I will post soon about the details for the tool release, and see you guys in my next videos. Thank you.